All right, welcome to chair yoga. And we're going to look for the joining points between the limbs and the body today. So of course the joining points are our shoulder joints and our hip joints. And the limbs have those muscles that support the bend at the elbow and the bend at the knee. So very important parts of the body where a lot of action occurs. So we'll do a moving centering to start with. If you shuffle your way towards the front of the chair, and we'll become aware of these joining points, the shoulders and the hips, starting with a little centering by leaning forward, bringing the weight into the thighs, feeling the low back and the hip flexors moving forwards and back. And just noticing how this part of the body feels as you bring the weight forward onto the feet and then back onto the sit bones. The next time you come up, we'll start to shrug the shoulders up towards the head, roll them back and down. Shrug, lift, squeeze back and drop. So you feel this circular motion in the shoulder joints, this very complex region of the body that allows us to reach for things, to pick up things, to hold things above the head, and then rotate the other way around. So bringing them back, squeezing, shrugging up, and then bringing them forward and down. And because these joints have so many different movements, we can start to move the hip joint again, bringing that left leg out and then the right leg, feeling that abduction of the thighs, of the hips. Noticing how that feels in the body today. So we're really doing this just to become aware of the sensations we're feeling, not to get anywhere in particular. At the same time, moving the body in these small ways helps warm up the body. Coming back to the shoulders, pause. Letting the hands dangle in front of you. Let the back of the hands face forward and slowly raise the hands up, look up, and then hinge forward and bring the palms of the hands down and lifting them up to the ceiling behind you. So it's a big sweep of the arms through about, let's see, 100, 200 degrees, 220, maybe 270 for different people. So we're swinging those arms up above the head, keeping the arms straight, hinging forward and lifting them up behind us. Getting that new sensation in the shoulders and once again in the hip flexors. This also is a way to strengthen our legs as we bring the weight forward, bearing weight into the front of the legs. One more. And then coming back to the chair, coming back to the hips, we're simply going to lift the left knee, open the left knee, and drop the left knee. lift the left knee, bring the left knee back and down. So it's very similar to the last exercise, except we have more lift, then open, more lift, then close. So it adds an upward trajectory to the opening and the closing. Almost like we're trying to do leg circles. You can move at the speed of your breathing, not too fast, but feeling a little bit warmer as you do that. And then pause, coming back to the shoulders. So simply flipping from the lower trunk to the groin area, right up to the shoulders. Bring that left hand out to the left and sweep it across the horizon in front of you and back again. Let's do 5 of those, sweeping and feeling how the shoulder joint moves in this lateral plane. Like you're pulling the curtains across at the end of the day and then opening them up at the beginning of the day. And then the other side. And what's a good idea here, when you move the shoulders left and right like this, to move the head by following the hand. So you feel the neck twisting as you do that. And of course we all know that the neck attaches to the shoulders, the chest and the back. So moving the neck is another important aspect of our shoulder work. And then bringing the shoulders down and back and down, palms facing towards each other, float the hands up like big wings and down, just to 90 degrees. Notice how the shoulder blade feels in this action. Keep the shoulder blade slightly squeezed throughout. Good. And then we're going to change that action by bringing both hands forward, 90 degrees. And then we're going to do a little bit of brain work. The left hand is going to come out to the side, right hand forward. And then you're going to switch, so right hand forward, left hand out to the side. And switch. So the brain's going to work extra hard here as it holds that left-right combination. And there should be a little bit of a shoulder burn by now. And release. Coming back to the hips, this time we're going to hit the hips in a slightly different way by extending the legs and curling the toes back, so we get that first stretch through the calf muscle and hamstring. When you sit up nice and tall like this, the stretch is going to be more through the calf muscle. However, if we put our hands on the thighs and slightly bend forward and then come back, the stretch moves up into the hamstring. Exhale as you come forward and then come back up. And you can keep the chin on it away from the chest here so you're not rounding the back. You're just simply getting into the hamstrings more. Good. The next time you come forward, come to that comfortable position forward. And we're going to do some head nods while we're here. Drop the chin to the chest. Lift the chin up. Drop the chin down. Lift the chin up. Down. Up. 2 more. Walk the hands up the leg. Let the hands pick you up. And we can bend those knees and tap out the feet. Just run the feet in little fast feet on the ground. Tap, 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 tap. So tapping the feet like this. See if you can tap the heels more. Tap the balls of the feet more. Heels. Balls. Heels and balls. So this is good for bone density, tapping the feet like this, building bone density, and release. So back to the shoulder now, starting to get a little more mobility in the shoulder. We'll do our Australian swings here where you bring the left hand behind the back, and that's going to stretch the the tricep here. And the right hand is just going to simply come across the front of the body and tap the armpit. And lean to that right side. Come on up. And we'll switch sides. Right hand behind, feel the stretch in the tricep, left hand in front, and lean to that left side. Come on up. Now we're going to do that same exercise a little faster, simply by swinging the arms and leaning, and then swinging the arms to the other side and leaning. So you're just simply moving from side to side with a little swing of the arms. This is a great shoulder release. And also helps release the neck. And then come to neutral. And we're going to go into the hips in a deeper way with that internal groin stretch on the right side. Rotate left leg 90 degrees. Actually, what we might do here is simply grab hold of the knees, widen the feet, they're still both bent, the knees are both bent, and you lean forward so your body weight comes forward, and you should feel that stretch right in the inguinal on both groins, and then come back up. Forward. And it doesn't take a lot of forward momentum to create this stretch. Over time, you might find the feet go a little wider and you come a little deeper. Just move safely in the range of motion that works in your body. Oh, that's a good stretch. Big, deep stretch. Now, keeping that big split, what we call this sumo squat. Let's hit the shoulders while we hold the stretch. Bring the hands out, bend the elbows 90 degrees, palms face forward. So we call this goddess. And then rotating the hands down and back, we come into scarecrow. So the elbows remain bent, bring it up, goddess, exhale, scarecrow. So really hitting the shoulders in a different way. The shoulder blades feeling this, the rotated cuffs feeling this, all the heads of the shoulder feeling this. Creates quite a burn. And all these shoulder exercises can be done with weights at any time. If you want to add a little load at any time, you can. Let's do 2 more of the Scarecrow Goddess. 1 and 2 and release. Coming into the hips in yet a different way. Extend the right leg and cross the ankle of the left over. And we're simply going to do pigeon slides here. Slide that left ankle up and pull it up as high as you can. Drop the left knee down. So we're coming into this seated pigeon pose. Arms helping support. Going to arch the back a little bit and push out through that right heel bone. Coming into a more traditional or classical proud pigeon. And then hinging forward a little bit, releasing the lower back. Let's try that again. Lift up, arch the back, bring the shoulders back. You might even look up a little bit. And then hinge forward, releasing the lower back. Let's do that one last time. Inhale, lean back, keep holding the leg. And if you can, bend the right knee and rest the figure 4 on that left thigh, that right thigh. We're going to do some twisting work while we're here. So bring the left hand back, right hand comes over the knee, and turn and look to that left side. Good. Breathing in the twist, and that adds a little more sensation to the hips. Plus the shoulders are working here as they bring that left shoulder back more. Keep the same figure 4 as you release the twist. Notice how when you release a twist, how you feel. And then twist to the other side. Notice the different sensations when you twist in a figure 4 to this side. Gently unwind the twist and release the figure 4. Extend the left leg this time so you feel a stretch in the calf and the hamstring. And then you can cross the right ankle over. And we're going to slide it up and hold it with the left leg extended. Lean back, look up, proud pigeon. And then slowly lean forward into a flexion here, dropping the head down towards the leg. Release the low back. Let's do that twice more. Lean back, look up. Arch the back, bring the shoulder blades back. Hinge forward. Make sure you feel comfortable on the edge of your seat. If you have to adjust, adjust. One last proud pigeon. Bring the head to neutral, and if you can, bend the left knee, come into your traditional figure four. Cross the left hand in front of the body, right hand behind you, and come into your twisting figure four. Slowly release, and then twist to the other side. And then gently release. Extend the legs out. And we're going to lean back for a moment into the chair and just give those calves and hamstrings a bit of a stretch. Curl those toes back. And we're going to focus on the hamstrings a little more using a strap, if you have a strap handy. So bend the knees. Grab a strap. And bring the right foot into the strap so you can pull with both hands against the cuff. So it's pretty much what we were doing before, except now we're using the strap to help pull the foot back. And I'm going to lean back into the chair a little bit again, so I'm not holding myself up. I really want to focus on the hamstring here. So my back is supported, and all I do is pull against the strap and lift that foot up so it pulls into the back of my right hamstring. Now, you can do this in several ways. One is to sustain the stretch, holding it up, even moving the hands closer to the foot if you like. Another way is to come up and down several times. So you give the hamstring stretch a little rest as you lower it back down. So really giving that hamstring some love today. Slowly lower down, and we're going to change sides. And once again leaning back so I can really focus on the hamstring here, either holding up with a sustained lift or coming up and down with a dynamic stretch, or a bit of both. And then slowly bring down and release the strap. Now, with all this shoulder mobility and hip mobility with the hamstring stretched out, we're going to go into a few warrior poses here today and utilize the work we've done. So we're going to start with that rotation of the right leg to the right. We'll start with traditional warrior 2 legs. Left leg heel toes out to the left. And you'll notice I'm trying to keep that left foot flat on the floor. That creates that nice adductor stretch here. Bring the left shoulder back, look behind you. And float the left hand up, parallel to the floor. Turning the head, try to keep the legs from changing position, especially that right knee sometimes wants to collapse. Float that right hand up and out. Feel the warrior 2. Slowly lower. Relax the hands. Relax the legs. And notice how you feel. Other side. Left thigh opens, right leg, heel toes out. Try to have both feet flat on the floor, especially that back foot. If the pinky toe side lifts up slightly, you can always wedge it with a blanket or a towel. Right hand parallel to the ground behind you. Left hand parallel to the ground in front of you, looking out over those fingertips. Exhale, slowly release. Grab the seat for support as you gently relax the thighs. You've got a bad squeak going on there, not sure what that's about. I think. Sorry about the noise, it's from the fire alarm being tested here, I'm assuming. Alright. So a little fire alarm test here in Australia. Alright, we're going to do warrior 1 on the other side. Here we go again, here comes the beeping. Rotate that right thigh to the right. And this time rotate the whole trunk to the right. So this orients the left leg differently from before. So rather than getting an abductor stretch, we're going to get a hip flexor stretch by bringing that leg back out. Relax the knee a little bit. Now, if it's comfortable, this isn't always comfortable what I'm about to do for people, but see if you can drop onto the top of your foot so you stretch the ankle joint as you bend the knee. So that gives the top of the foot into the shin a nice stretch. And then I come up over the ball of the foot, over the top of the toes, and push back through the heel. And that comes into my hip flexor and starts to stretch out my hamstring more. So we'll try that a few times, just get that little dynamic foot drop, knee drop, and then lifting the knee, driving back through the heel bone, stretching the hamstring. The next time, sorry about this. So you stretch back and lift one hand and both if you feel confident. Slowly lower the hands, relax the legs, and come back to neutral. So that opens up the body in a whole different way. So that even if fire alarms, they are being tested professionally. I'm not ignoring the fire safety here. So there is a professional in the house testing the alarms. Open up that left thigh and rotate the torso to the left. And we have the same issue here. We're going to bring the right leg back, straighten it out, torso facing to the left, and then coming down onto the top of the foot. So this is a really nice stretch for the top of the ankle. It can feel sensitive on top of the toes. And then push back and drive back. And forward. Drive back. Once again, I apologize for the sound. Now the next time we drive back, we're going to hold, keep that knee lifted, feel the hip flexor lift up. Yes, sir.
I'm doing the spiral inspections.
I've heard it very loudly 4 or 5 times already. How many times do you have to hear it?
I can do each one individually,
Do
unfortunately.
you? Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, so I'm just going
And
to
then lifting the hands up above the head. We're getting a test while this is all going on. And feel that stretch in the thigh and the groin. Big stretch. And then slowly come down and release. Just feel that in the hips, the hip flexors, etc.
I'm going to be testing your safety switches, so your power's going to go off
When?
in about 5 minutes.
Were we notified of all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
5
sorry,
minutes.
that-
I got 5 minutes, folks, and then we lose power. So what we might do is have a shorter ending today. So grab your hips, and we're going to do some hip circles around and around. And back the other way. Come to stillness. We'll do a couple of lateral flexions of the spine, left and right. Inhale back to neutral. And then come to center. Relax shoulders, upright posture. And notice the breath. Relax the shoulders. And if at any time the power goes off, if it ends abruptly, know that you can stay in meditation as long as you like, but I'll stay with you as long as I can. Let the hands relax, and let the shoulders relax. And feel this capacity that when life doesn't go in the way you want it to go, you can still come back to this conscious choice to relax the muscles of the body and slow the breath down. It's a small but significant change in the way we feel. Just focusing on the sensations, relaxation, and the breath. knowing that this is all possible in the midst of chaos, disruption. And this is where the true test of your yoga comes in, to remember and do our practice. So bring your hands together at the chest in gratitude. Let the head bow. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.